Hi everybody, Donna Salazar here for the Crafters Workshop. I've got another video tutorial for you today. These are the paints that I use for the prints that I make today. All of those paints have different textures. Some of them are thick, some of them are metallic, some of them are more fluid, and when you mix all the different ones together, you get something that's almost like chunky. This is the Sweet Posy stencil, and you can tell it's one of my favorites because it's full of paint chunks. And if you watch the other video that I did earlier this month for the Crafters Workshop, you'll see how I do prints so that I can pull some of the chunks off and get them onto the prints that I make. And I'm using a more fluid paint now over the top of the stencil. This is the media fluid paint. And for people who would like to know, I'm using paper from Hammermill, digital color copy paper. It has a really smooth finish. So this one is the ghost print. Has a lot more color because I added white over the top of the stencil. So now I'm adding metallic. And I'm putting the stencil back on. And because I'm using the same stencil, there's still some paint on top, and then when I brayered over it, it added a little bit more. So this is a really cool way to get some nice light colored prints. And it still pulled up some of that chunkiness that's on the stencil. And then the ghost print. And then I use these types of prints for layouts. So I'm adding a little bit more of a thick paint here, the premium DecoArt paint. And then because I'm using that same piece of paper for rolling it out, I pick up random bits of color too. And I rub over the paper quite a bit because I do like to pull up some of the stuff that is on the stencils. And this time I'm leaving it on, and I'm going to go over it again with a different color. And I'm going to do it one more time without lifting it up. And now I'll lift it up to do the ghost print. And here's another little tip. If you just want to get that little strip but you want it to be clean, go ahead and lay it over the first piece of paper. And then you get a nice clean strip down the side. So this is the print that I chose for my project, and I cut it down to 8 by 10. I decoupaged it onto the front of a canvas with matte medium from DecoArt. And then I printed this out and I cut out the words using scissors for the blocks and then a craft knife for the skinny letters. I outlined them on a piece of paper using a black felt marker. And then I adhered everything using the matte medium from DecoArt. I added gold around the edge, and then I wanted to pull out the design even more so I added more matte medium on top of the stencil, and it didn't go through, so I flipped it over, and then I brayered it over really quickly and lightly, sprinkled that with some glitter, and then ended up getting the design kind of showing a little bit more. And this is what the finished project looked like after I added some flowers. And you can see a little bit of the pattern. Now I could leave the video done there, but sometimes you get a nap, not always planned. I started printing out this. This was the original project, but the words were too skinny. I X-Actoed them out and they got kind of wonky, and then I tried to fix it when I decoupaged it on, and then some of the black came up and I had to go over it with marker, then over it with paint. Then I tried to clean up by adding some gold marker around, but it got messy, so I painted over that and then added glitter. So I added a bunch of stuff trying to make it better, and it wasn't what I had planned, so I didn't really care for it. but Cheryl loved it. She's like, I think it looks great. Then good really shows up. Nobody knows what you had planned. So just remember, just because it isn't something you had planned, it doesn't mean it isn't good. And here are the two projects side by side. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you again next time. Bye.